All right. One more day here in beautiful Tennessee. And so hopefully I'll be home on Monday. We're going to do some lifting. Are you ready? I'm all set up. So here this is. See, get my bar. It's one of the best ways I know to get yourself warmed up. I have my weights ready to go and my balance pad. So instead of just, you can always do it if you've got, time, if you go out and do a walk and then come in and do some of this that I'm doing, that's great. If not, one of the best ways I know to actually get your proprioceptive systems going, step on an unbalanced surface. But when you do that, be ready, okay? So whenever I'm doing this, we're already starting into our warm-up, y'all, coming on. See, I have my bar, and I don't step over yet. That's kind of important for you to this is an important concept for anybody, but especially people with joints replaced and or arthritis, an elongated warm-up, and also doing some of the moves that I'm doing right now, which I do on a regular basis, but I change it up a little bit all the time. This is one of the best ways I know to get your joints to respond. I'm stepping on an unstable surface, okay? My knee is bent. The back leg, I try to make sure is pointing forward. I don't go ahead and step over like I'm stepping over something, not yet. Because I'm trying to get my brain to say, oh, geez, that's an unstable surface. I better pay attention. See, rib cage up, and then you just bend and you reach. But when you reach, do not bend at your waist, okay? Your ear stays over your shoulder stays over your hip. So that's the lineup. So see right now, I'm going for toe to heel. So this little technique that I'm showing you right now, for anybody with hips and or knees replaced, see, I'm pressing into the toe, pressing into the heel. I'm leaning, see, from my hips, my legs. I'm not leaning like this. That's a very important feature. So drop your shoulders, big breath through the nose, lean into the toes, so you're putting pressure into the toes. Now go back into the heels. And when you go back into the heels, you gotta have your knees bent, okay? Or things are gonna go south, all right? You're gonna start, oh, I'm gonna fall type thing. But that's why I want you to practice this training, because for anybody with issues with bones, joints at all, and especially if you've had a joint replaced. So see, I'm just doing minimal circles with my hands. That's not the emphasis right here. Yes, I want to move them. I'm opening and closing my hands as I do this. I'm looking, my feet are forward. I'm pressing into the toe, down into the heel, but I'm not lifting. See, toe, heel. And when you press into your toe box, open your toes. Yes. Then come back to the heel, then go back into the toes. See, I'm getting all this on board with me. But my ear, my shoulder, and my hip continues to stay in a line. And if I came into your room right now and measured you up, I would probably catch some of you doing this. So if you'll notice, it's not what I'm doing, okay? Now, as I'm doing little circles with my hands, it's gonna move you off balance. That's what I want, because I want you to start gently stressing your muscles, your joints, your bones, and your proprioceptive systems. And you gotta knock yourself off just a little bit. But again, say, Rib cage up, breathe through my nose, drop my shoulders, and then turn from side to side. See? So this little move right here is really pushing your hip and especially your knee and possibly your ankle. Pretty good. Lower back, yes. Then I step off and you're gonna feel it right through here. It's gonna start heating up. Switch your lead leg. See, that's my lead leg now. I'm on a little pad. The minute you put it up there, you're gonna, now, let me put a disclaimer here. I don't know if you call it a disclaimer, a safety precaution. If you are stuffed up from sinuses, from allergies, from a cold, don't use this thing yet, because you're already gonna be off, okay? And the minute you change legs, you're gonna feel that's what I'm hoping. But if you're stuffy, it affects your balance. You gotta know that, okie dokie? So I'm just trying to help you manage situation, all right? So see how I'm going into the toe box, then back into the heel. My knees are soft. Yeah, the back one is pretty bent, a little bit bent in the front. Big breath through the nose, yeah. So every time I say breath through the nose or take a breath, I'm meaning shut your mouth. So see, when I'm back here, see, I'm back here. It's gonna, anytime you move from front to back or vice versa, you're gonna get off a little bit. That's why if you have some kind of a sinus infection, something is affecting your hearing, and or you've changed glasses, or your eyesight is changing, you need to be conscious of that. And maybe don't use the pad. That's okay. Still do the same moves. See, you're gonna still get the same proprioceptive signals, just not as ramped up as when you go on a spongy pad. See this? Ear, shoulder, hip. See that? That doesn't move. This moves. And I move into the toe box with my toes splayed. I say rib cage up. I come back. Keep that knee soft. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. Then I step off. Okay? Then I turn my toe out. I notice. So my hip here, this is my replaced hip. This is my replaced knee. This is the hip that's starting to talk to me, and I've been really working at keeping it unstuck. And yeah, it takes a little bit of doing, but you have to notice. So turn your toe out, because we're in a different direction now. And why is this all important? Because I'm fixing to pick up some pretty heavy weights, and it's gonna go affect my hips, my back, my knees. So I have to get everything on board. So as I'm standing here, I just turn this toe out and I notice, yeah, this is a little tight here, see? Then I turn the other toe out. This is my hip replaced side. No tightness, but again, no bones. Because it's titanium or something like that, okay? Turn, ooh, stick, see? But it's a little butter, okie dokie? So I'm hoping this is making sense of why I'm doing an elongated kind of warm up. I'm trying to avoid further injury or not, and this is one of the most important things, not being able to turn on all the muscles around the hip, around the lower back, around the shoulders, because I didn't let them know, hey, I'm up and I'm not dead yet. So you better get with it. See what I'm doing? Do you notice? So I hope you're noticing how you're moving in your hip. Okay, after I've done that, then before I even take and step over my pad here, I'm going to do a step up. And I have my rod. If I'm a little wonky, I'll put my rod right here and I'll bring the leg up. So this is one of the first big moves, see? And then I'll come down. tight tummy, shoulders down, breathing in through the nose. And see how I brought that up there? Okay, it's at a 90 degrees here. But again, my ear, my shoulder, and my hip is all in line. If I bend forward, I do it from here, not here, okay? Then I bring it down. I may bring that leg up and back a couple of times until it's like, okay, it's feeling like it's getting unstuck, okay? And so what would be an indication to me that you're able to do a full range to a 90 degree like this? If I watched you do it, okay, and if you were watching what I was doing, some of you would have caught, this is my leg that is tight, okay, and this one is not. So when I come up, what I would notice on you is your foot. Because if you can't get your knee all the way up and standing on one leg, and I have an assist, and those of you who have balance issues, please, please do this kind of work where you can put your hand on a wall, okay? That's just smart moving. And you know you know, that's kind of a challenge for me. So watch whenever I put my leg up here. So when I come up here and I don't quite get all the way, I have to go like that. See that? That's a cheater move. And where did I learn this from? I learned it from my slugs. I hope you're laughing. Drop your shoulders. Breath in through the nose. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to use my little bar. See? Right here, so it won't slip. Keep my shoulders down. I'm going to come all the way up and don't turn your foot. If you are, and if that is hard for you, then you have to go to a lower target. And you have to do it multiple times before you get that hip working, okay? It ain't gonna work if you do this, and if you do this, and you turn your, it's not gonna work. So, there. See, I didn't do this at first. I turned my ankle. I turned my foot to do that little cheater thing. See? There. This leg is soft. Put it down. No problem with this leg. This is my hip replace side, okay? Shift, ribcage up, bring it all the way up, put that down. And at the very beginning of me doing this, I turned my foot. Yeah, see? You've taught me all kinds of things. I know how to cheat really well with these little movement patterns. Okay, after you've done that a couple of times, that's a good thing. Then you take your bar, and we're gonna go from seated to walking over our pad, all right? So I'm gonna come down, and I'm gonna hip hinge, drop my chin, and I'm already gonna start pressing into my heels. My feet are wide. They are at my chair level. They're not in here, they're out here. When you go to stand up, notice if your knees come in or if they go out. If that's happening, it's because of some inert muscle weaknesses or tightnesses that we gotta address. So notice that. So here we go. Into the heels, keep your chin tucked, boom, step, step. See that? I'm gonna come back around. I'm gonna go wide, hip hinge, sit. I'm gonna step with the other leg. Hip hinge, drop your shoulders, breath, exhale. Step over and come back. When you step, be ready because you may get thrown. Who knows? You may have stepped a little far to one side or the other, or you weren't landing straight on the flat of your feet. Hip hinge, go to the other leg, up, breath. And when I say breath, just keep breathing. Don't get all freaked out about, oh, when do I go in? When do I go out? When do I exhale? When do I inhale? Keep breathing. That's number one. We're not doing a great big effort here, but when you go to stand up, if you observe yourself, and if you observe other people that are kind of in your age range, when they go to stand up, it's difficult for them because they've lost muscle and they've lost range, or they may have injuries. And they hold their breath. You may hold your breath. Drop your chin, drop your shoulders. Breath, exhale, step, and over, okay? And when you're stepping up and over, observe yourself. Are you doing this? See, that's what we do because we don't want to fall. And then we don't realize that we're totally out of neutral spine. So step wide, drop your shoulders, take a breath. Here we go. Exhale, step, up and over, turn around. I got one more to do. Sit, big breath, drop your shoulders, and heels, step with the other leg, up and over, and back down. Now try the leg ups. I'm gonna come right here to my forehead and right back down. Here to my forehead, and I have it in case I need it, right? Or if you're at a wall, that's one of the best safety precautions to do when you're doing a one-legged stance, as if you're gonna climb up on a chair, okay? See that? Take a big breath and back down. Yay. Check that pole, shift, bring that leg out to the side, drop your shoulders, turn. The elbow, the wrist, and the shoulder are all on the same plane. If you have a tricky shoulder, a lot of times this move is going to get you. And so let me tell you what I would see if I knew you had a tricky shoulder. Or it would tell me that you are compensating. It's just if you do this and you do this. See that? That's a dead giveaway that you got some issues somewhere up in here. So drop your shoulders, okay? You turn and you keep those shoulders down. My elbow, my shoulder, and my wrist are on the same level. Come down, do a high hip hinge, then come right here. Take a look. Wrist, elbow, shoulder. Push back. Drop your chin. Here we go. And here we go. Now we're going to do the adduction, abduction. So I'm going to go up, shift, boom. See that? Turn, shift, out to the side. Do not point your toe out. You are leading with your ankle and your heel. Okay? So you're going to shift, bring that ankle heel as a leader up to the side. Not really a lot, but a little bit. This is an important move. So we've already done the flexion, stepping over. Anytime you're stepping over, you're doing flexion through here. And now we're going into extension into the adductors and abductors. And when you do that, you have to keep reminding yourself, my ear is here, my shoulder is here, and my hip is here. And when I shift and I lift that ankle and the heel, this stays in line. You're not leaning out, because when you do that, you're trying to seek balance, okay? You're gonna shift. So I'm right here, see? My toe is there. This is my replaced hip. I'll do it this way so you see what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going like this, and I'm gonna stay in line, and I'm gonna lift. So it's just like that. Just like that. Shift. Keep that back very extended. Keep the shoulders down. Lead with the ankle and the heel. Take a breath. Woo. Take a breath. Take a breath. Right there. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. and come back down. Last hip back move that people never think about when they're warming up with just walking around the room. So we've done our abduction, adduction. You can use a bar. I'm turning this around so that I'll put my bar down right now. I could do it freestanding, and then I would bring my bar up. I'm going to take this back and this back. So straight leg, breath through the nose, put your hands here. When you take your leg back, do you remember that lineup that I talked about? The minute somebody does this, you know what I see? Typically, they do this. Don't do that. That's going to do nothing to help warm up these muscles back here. To take that hip back. Now this is an extension and this is flexing, because that's how they work in opposition. Let them work as efficiently as possible. And how do you do that? You line yourself up. Big breath, drop your chin, pull back. See, I'm not throwing it. The idea is not to get it as high as you can. Help me. Who cares if you can't walk? I want you to get them working efficiently before we start doing heavier lifting. Drop your shoulders, take a breath, soften up the knees, pull that heel back, keep your rib cage up, shoulders down. See that? And do it several times. Get those muscles working together right there. Take a big breath. Don't lean in. Don't lean in. We're not doing that right now. Okie dokie. Couple more. Okay, and before we quit, because I'm trying really hard to get you to turn these on. Okie dokie. So I do a couple of straight leg from the hip. Then I take the leg back. And then I pull that heel in. Don't do it in a huge motion, or this right here is gonna ball up on you, okay? Don't get scared, that's just what happens if you overdo it. Drop your shoulders, big breath. Take the other leg back, then do that arc, where you bring the heel into the hip. This is a very important move. And the more you challenge yourself to do this, start off with no weight on your ankle. But if you have those ankle weights, great. After you've warmed these up, if I were at home and I had my ankle weights, I would put them on today, because we are going to be lifting a little heavier. See? Go straight back, then heel and arc. And don't cave on me. Don't lean in. Drop your shoulders. Come right there. Tight tummy. Just a brace. Drop your shoulders. Keep your chin tucked. Bring that heel in as far as you feel you can. And if you're doing this correctly, you're going to feel this. You're like, oh, it feels like it's going to spasm on me. Yeah. It's because they're not used to doing it. See, when we're walking around, we don't walk like this, do we? Well, that's one of the moves that I would suggest somebody do, like in the beginning, warming up, if you're going to be a walker, or at the end. Just take a step, take that heel back, and do that. Okay? I don't ever see people doing that. I see them doing all kind of, stretches and all that kind of stuff, but I don't see them doing that. So if you're a walker, learn this move, add it into your little walking program. You can thank me later. But if you overdo it, you're going to get a cramp right there. Okay? So see, I'm doing this several times. I just want those muscles to know I'm still here. And I'm still kind of in charge of things, or I like to think I am. And the body is saying, no, you're not. I know how that feels. Oh, I know how that feels. Okay, there you go. So we did our step overs, we did our abduction, adduction. We've done a few transverses. We'll do a little bit more and then we're ready to get into those weights. And you should be moving a whole lot better right now. So I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna act like this is an axe handle. I'm gonna act like, I have to watch out, there's a fan up here on the ceiling. Let me move back. I might be in trouble if I hit it. Okay, so see here? So you can do this with your pole, with your mop handle, whatever you got. Or pretend if you don't have anything. But I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna act like I'm chopping. See that? So when I come to that level, I don't want to be leaning way out and rounding my back. No. Then I'm going to go the other way. See, here's the axe. And I'm going to come down. I'm going to bring my hands right here to my knee, as if I was chopping something. See that? Then I come to the middle. So not only does this help our transverse moves in our back and our shoulders, look at what I'm doing with my wrists. See that? Like I'm chopping. So I'm in this position. If I came into your room right now, I would want to see you pushing into this. This is hardly touching, but I'm in a squatty position. My chin is tucked. And then I'm going to come up with that axe handle and come up and go neutral. Then go the other way. See that? Like I'm chopping some wood. Bring it up and bring it up. So whenever I do this, I put more pressure into one leg versus the other in a chopping situation. This is going to be very important later in class today. Take a breath, big breath, exhale. Bring it up, turn straight on, come down, and your hands are coming right here to your knee. You see how I'm pushing into this leg? Then I come up, turn. Now I'm coming into this leg, but my back is what? Extended. My chin is tucked, okay? And coming down. Now you golfers, see, I just noticed myself, and I don't even golf that much. I haven't golfed in a long time, but I did take it. I linked my fingers like I was doing a golf club, just inadvertently. Okay, turn, and that's okay, because that'll help train your wrist and your fingers. And then you come up. So the biggest snafu is when you're doing this and rounding your back and bringing your chin way up, okay? One more time, right here to the knee. See that? Come right up here. Now turn. Okay, soften up the knees. If you don't soften up the knees, you're gonna lock them and then you're gonna round your back. That's what happens every time. I don't know, that's just what slugs do. Drop your shoulders, here we go. Boom, right to there. Then I come up, turn, boom, right to there. See that? Okay, bring those in, and we are ready to pick up some weight. Here we go. I am going to turn it to a light. For me, a light is 6. But I'm going to go up very quickly. So just be ready for this kind of a thing. Turn your chair around so you're ready to go. Whether you're sitting or standing. When you bend over, see, watch yourself. See, whenever I bend over, I'm pushing my butt back and I'm hip hinging. I can't stress that enough. So until you get used to this kind of a movement patterning, you really want to pay attention to how you are moving. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to bring these right here, and I'm going to drop my shoulders and pull my shoulders back, down first, then back, because I'm going to rotate them right to here and right to here. And I'm doing one with a 6, and I'm doing the other with a 6. Okay, so I'm a wide stance. I'm going to rotate and bring it right to there. and rotate and bring it right to there. So with a very light weight, I'm gonna go through a whole rotational movement pattern through the shoulders. And what has to support that is my quads, my whole leg systems, especially my quads and hamstrings, my gluteal, and my back. So I'm rotating. See how my elbow stays down? Okay, so if I came into your room and watched you do this, and if I saw you do this, then I know we got a problem. So you need to do this motion then with no weight, because you got to get where you can do a full range of motion with no sticking and no pain, okay? Then I'm gonna bring it up. On the other one, I'm gonna bring this up, and then I'm going to just stay right here, bring the elbows in, and go all the way down, okay? So I'm taking a wide stance. My knees are soft, kind of like you're riding a horse. My elbows are into my waist. I'm gonna pull right to the shoulder. Then I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna rotate down. Do this with no weight. If you know that you have a shoulder, if it's painful or if you have a shoulder issue at all, you do this range of motion and range of movement with no weight, or maybe a 1 pound something, but basically no weight. See, like this. Now I'm gonna rotate right here, take a big deep breath, bring them back down, rotate, bring the elbows here, then bring them back down, take a breath, right here, bring them back down. See, it's all through the elbow. You keep your wrist in neutral. Now pour that can out of whatever, let's say water, because I know you're not drinking pop anymore, right? Sorry, I had to just mention that. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders. Here we go, big breath. Exhale through the nose, inhale through the nose. See that? I'm really wide. Yeah, just like that. Now I'm gonna put my hands together as if I had that axe in my hand again. But I have a weight in both hands if you want to, and if you have issues with any of these moves, let's say your back, your shoulders, whatever, just do one weight. That's okay. Put them together. I'm gonna go from here to the knee. Then I'm gonna bring it back, and I'm gonna go to the knee again. Keep my chin tucked. I'm gonna stay wide. As I'm coming down, my butt goes back. Boom. Right here. Keep my chin tucked. Right here. Boom, right there. 2 more. Here we go. Like you're chopping some wood. So right now I've got in my hands, my total is 12 pounds, and I'm doing that axe, okay? Then I come here to the middle, right here. Before I go to the other side, I'm just gonna turn and turn. I'm not turning my knee, I'm not pivoting. I'm just giving a little recovery, okay? So now I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna act like I got a big axe. My knees are soft. When I start to swing, I push my butt back, and then I get right down here to the knee. Keep my chin tucked, come right to the shoulder. Here we go. Push that butt back. Take a big breath through the nose. Boom, right there. Take a big breath through the nose. Yeah, right there. Here we go. Big breath. Boom, right there. One more. Here we go. Right there. Now we're gonna stay down. We're gonna put our elbows on our knees. Loosen up your hand grip. Let the weights go into the fingers and then pull them back into your palm. And you're in a down position, a semi-squat position. I could do this hovering over my chair, just as a safety measure. So see, I'm curling them into my palms, Then I let it roll to my fingertips. Then I pull from my fingertips into my palm, but I don't bend my wrist. This is all done through the hands, okay? And I'm pushing my butt back. I'm not going deep. I'm resting my elbows on my top of my knees, and I'm just working those wrists and fingers in this position, and I'm in a steady squat position. It's not deep. You should be pushing into your heels. Pretty good. Big breath. Keep breathing. Big breath. Drop your shoulders. See how I'm pulling from my fingertips into my palm, but I'm not curling my wrist at this point. I will do that, but not right now. Go into your heels. Okay? Now release tighten your tummy. Really push your butt back. Release your elbows. And you're gonna come right down here and come right up. See that? So stay into the heels. All right, drop your shoulders. Big breath, come down. We're gonna come up, take a breath, all the way right to here. So I'm doing this with 12 pounds, 6 and 6. Then I come down, heels, pull. Again, there goes that wrist. So when you're chopping wood, yeah, you are working your wrist, your forearm, deltoids, your quads, and give yourself a fighting chance to really get strong. Keep that butt pushing back. Keep that back very extended. Go into your heels. Keep your shoulders down. One more. Here we go. And right here. Now I'm going to push my butt back, come down and have a sit. Then I'm going to rotate a knee in as I put my hand down. See this? My shoulder's down. My knee is down. I'm turning all the way through that ankle and that foot. But don't lean in. Stay upright. Take a big breath. Come back. Rotate. See that? Bring that knee down. Just like that. Take a big breath in through the nose. Rotate that knee down. Drop your shoulders. Come back. And drop your shoulders. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to put my weights down. And see, I'm doing this from a seated position. Why? Because a lot of people put things down from a seated position. So you stay wide, you hip hinge, you don't round your back, and you put your weight down. And we're gonna go up from a 9 to a 12 to a 15, maybe 18, who knows, in the next few minutes. And I want you to think about something. So as I'm sitting here, I'm prepping you. See this? See how I'm turning now? See? So when I turn like this, what you don't see is this forearm, the outside of the forearm, is pushing against the knee. My chin is tucked and I'm looking over my other shoulder. This sets up a great body range of motion, okay? Mobility moves. So see, I'm pushing into the knee here and I'm looking over my shoulder with my chin tucked, pushing pretty hard. Then I come to center, okay? Realign. Keep your chin tucked. Now as I go this way, I'm pushing against the knee with the forearm. And you should be feeling that in your groin for sure. Take a big breath. Pushing into the groin, pushing into the groin, pushing into the groin. Then come back. Great. You should feel so good because that tightness that you felt into the groin when you turned like that, if you can can think your way through this and get to where you can do that, even in a sitting position, oh my goodness, such relief because it's tight. When you relieve it by putting yourself in a proper stretch, you know, for mobility, not to kill yourself. It just feels so much better. 9 pounds. See how I'm leaning in? See how I'm leaning in? I'm hip hinging. I bring the weights right in here. Okie dokie. Take a big deep breath. Go wide. Bring those weights right here. Let's work on shoulders first. Then we will work on the big muscles in our legs and back. So we're gonna go 1 at a time. See that? So if you have delicate shoulders, delicate back, if you're a little concerned about using a little heavier weight, don't do them both. Go, I don't care which, 1 at a time. Now see my elbows? Okay, now with that weight on my shoulders, I'm gonna check out my shoulder mobility now. So my shoulders are down. Take a big deep breath, rotate them back in, and put one down, then the other down. So if you can just stick with me here, focus for a few minutes. If you put a weight in your hand, see, everybody wants to know, oh, Jeannie, what's an exercise I can do for my stomach? I'm like, well, everything you do could be working your stomach, or it could not be working your stomach. Tighten it in, contract it. Right now, brace. What does that mean? Pretend I'm coming at you with my fist and I'm gonna punch you right in the gut. Huh, that's a brace. Then I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna come here. And then I'm gonna open as far as I can with my hands, not just my elbows back. Then I bring it in. Now tighten up, do that bracing right here, but don't go all the way down. Go right here and right here. Keep your shoulders down and do a little punch, 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 punch. Breath, 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 punch. Drop your shoulders, and put them down. I know. Go back a little bit, come back. So from a seated position, you can work your core or your tummy. So if you're working your tummy, you should be working your back extensors at the same time. How does that happen? Because they work in opposition to keep you upright. So my core can be helped tremendously, your stomach, if you just keep it braced. Don't bring it in so hard that it makes your face turn blue and your eyes bulge. That's not what I'm talking about. Drop your shoulders, take a big breath through your nose. You're going wide stance. Here we go, here we go. Bring one up, bring the other up. Open your whole hands out. So I could do several sets of this type of motion, and then I bring my elbows in and I bring that heavier weight right here. If you're rounded it, if you're concerned about rounded shoulders, forward head, this simple move, you won't see this being posted all over the internet because a lot of those people don't get shoulder issues. They don't get having osteoporosis concerns. They don't get arthritis concerns, okay? So there's very rarely do I see, you know, some posts of older, you know, people doing some of this, or I should say injured people, okay? But this is a big deal. And if you want to help your hunched over shoulders in a strength move that's not going to further injure you and you're seated, see, I can do this all standing. I'm coming up, I'm coming up. Take a big breath, exhale, and open with your shoulders down. I want that shoulder blade to move over those rib cage. It's got to glide over the ribs in the back, okay? And somebody says, oh, I thought the ribs were in the front. Well, they surround you and they're inserted up around your spine, okay? So this move, this move, this move, woo, big deal. Then when you come in and you put one down, don't go all the way to your leg, come right here, say rib cage up and go punch, 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 punch. Breath, 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 breath. 2 or 3 more. Breath, ribcage up, and put the hands down. You do that for about 3 sets. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Big breath in through the nose. Yes. Open back. Drop your shoulders and come forward. Okay, now we're going into the legs. How are we going to do that? We're going to stay in a pretty wide stance, number 1. If I had somebody that really was having some little wonky hip problems, catching, all that, I would have you sitting on that 2-inch pad or a pillow, because then it's going to make you doing squats with weights tolerable, but you're still going to do it. Okay, so here I am. Drop my shoulders, take a breath. Here's the weights. I'm going to come right into here. If again, I will do it with no weights, or I will be on a pad if I have trouble with knee, hip, back. Got it? Here we go. Hip hinge. Push into those heels. Do not let your knees come in. Okay? Here we go. Right here. Take a breath. Come right up here. Okay? Come back down. Push the butt back. You're right here. Now you're going to do that little punching. You're going to go into the heels. Breath, 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 breath. You're going to come up. And now you're going to do what we just practiced. See this? Open. Yeah. Just like that. Look at my elbow. My elbows are not sticking back. See, they're right here. My shoulder blades are going back. Then I come in and I come down and I act like I'm going to sit, but I don't. And I come right back up. Okay? We're going to do 3 this way. Right here, take a breath. Exhale. Here we go. Take a breath. Exhale. 1 more. Take a breath. Exhale. All right. You got it? Now we're going to sit. We're going to come right here. Tap. Come right back up. Sorry, I said sit. I didn't mean sit. I meant I'm changing my mind. So that means I'm going to touch the back part of my hamstring to the chair. And now I'm doing this with 18 pounds coming in through the spine, shoulders, hips, lower back, knees, feet, ankle. Yes. Breath. Keep your chin tucked. And now this one we're going to do our shoulders. Ready? Bring it up. Bring it up. Open. Bring it back in. Open. Bring it back in. Breathe in through the nose. If you feel like an oxygen or an air hunger, then of course, get your mouth involved. But I would love for us all to keep trying to breathe through that nose, in and out. See, I'm in my heels. I rotate to my toes a little bit, heels, rotate. Look at your elbows, look at your elbows. See my elbows? They're not here, and they're not here. Get those shoulder blades pulling over those ribs and muscles in the back. Rotate that shoulder. Boom. Just like that. Oh, take a breath. Okay, 1 more move with the medium weight. So what's a medium weight for me? It's the 9 or the 12. You know, that's a medium weight for me. So I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to pull this up here. Okay, now I'm going to hang on to it with my thumb resting on it so it won't roll. Now I have changed the position of the stressor. Now it's all the way up here. So I have lengthened my lever action. It's gonna be harder. So I'm gonna hang on to it. I'm gonna go into a hip hinge. I'm gonna come down and act like I'm gonna sit, and then I'm gonna stand back up. See that? If that's too hard and you're struggling and you're making weirdo compensatory moves, drop the weight. Use it with a 6 or use it with a 5 or a 4. That's fine. Keep your elbows comfortably right here beside you. Go right down here, boom, and come right back. So every time I do that, I tell myself right now, tight tummy, breathe, stick that butt back, shift into the heels, boom. Shift into the heels. You should not feel this in your knee whatsoever. Shift into the heels. Big breath. Keep those elbows tucked down. Breath. I got about 3 more. Here we go. Keep your chin tucked. Breath. Just barely sit. And then come back up. Barely touch. Come back up. One more. Barely touch. Come back up. Yeah, bring that down, wide stance, I'm gonna put my weights in, then I'm gonna go to 12, okay? Shake out those hands, everything's good to go. So, at this point, if you can go to 15 or 18, do it, okay? But I want you to just go up in whatever weight you chose, okay? So I specifically am gonna go up because we're heading in, we've warmed up, we've really worked the muscles. I really wanna hit my whole body with as heavy a weight load as I can handle. So without compensatory moves, okay? So you decide, you get to pick up whatever it is that will give you a good stressor. So I'm gonna do some of the same moves we just did because we're all warmed up. So instead of just doing the same thing, I went up in weight just a little, okie dokie. So watch this, see this? See how I move my shoulders forward? My hands are right here. Okay, drop your shoulders. Soft knees, move them back. Yeah. If I were with you, I would put my hands right into your shoulder blades. And I would want to see how they're floating forward and now back, squeezing the spine. See that? So I'll do that a couple of times with pretty heavy weight. Take a big breath, shoulders forward. Boom. Drop your shoulders. Yeah. Back. See that? A lot of shoulder movement here. With 18 pounds, I have 18 pounds on both hands. Okay? You get to choose whatever is heavy for you. Okay? That is pushing you. Make sure you have equal pressure. Your knees are soft. You're coming forward and you're rolling back with a weight. Now, I put those weights right there. I got my chair right behind me. See that? I'm gonna go down as low as I feel I can. Bring those weights right with me. Then I'm gonna come right back up. See that? So tight tummy, drop your shoulders. Take a big breath. Go down, exhale. Come back up. Big breath, drop your shoulders. Come down. Bring those weights right with you. Boom. And come back. Okay, keep those knees floating over the toes a little. Take a big breath. Heels. Okay, big breath now. Are you ready? Do you remember the little wrist finger things I did? Now I have quite a bit of weight. See how they're going to my fingers? Then I pull it into my palm. So if you're having grip issues, you want to make friends with this move with a heavier weight. See how I'm working my hand? It's not hurting my wrist. It's not hurting my shoulder. It's a pretty good challenge, okay? After you've done that a couple times, Go into your heels, come down, and we're gonna act like we're sitting, and then we're gonna punch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, heels, 7, 8, up. Woo! Yes. Then you come right here, come down, 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 down with control, all the way to a sit down. See that? So you go out, take a big deep breath. Well, time flies when you're having fun. I hope you're laughing. Bring this up, tap, one at a time. Up, tap. So see, you do a move that will stress those biceps, but not hurt your shoulder. Because we gotta keep trying to be strong as we can in our arms, even if you've had a little shoulder tweaking. See this? My tummy is braced. I'm hip hinging. I am not swinging. I am moving with this move on purpose. Boom, right there. Back. Here we go. Big breath into the nose and back. Yes. Then I'm gonna bring these weights right down here. Now I'm gonna move those shoulders into my back and back down. See how I'm taking the big, strong trunk and shoulder back muscles to do this squeezing in of the scapula, bringing it back. That's the shoulder blades right there. Keep your chin tucked. Make sure you're hip hinging. No rounding it of the back at all. Breath. Keep your shoulders down. Roll them into your back, right there. Roll them into your back. We've got 3 more. Breath. Roll them into your back. Make sure your back is extended. Shine your tail lights. 1 more. Bring them up. Nice. Now, from a sit down, you do not round your back. You're gonna put your waist down and they're heavy. You hip hinge. Then you bring that weight down on purpose. And you put it right in the rack. Right there. And a little tip, if you have channel changing weights like these, and you've got kids around, grandkids, whoever, maybe your husband or wife wants to, or your partners, whatever, wants to pick them up, make sure they're on 18. That'll discourage them, okay? That's just a little safety thing. Now what I want you to do is give yourself a big hug, just like that. Drop your shoulders. See, the minute some of you did this, you know what happened? The shoulders came up around your ears. We'll do that at some point. Keep your shoulders down. Hug, put them down again. And then go turn, 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 turn. Just don't pivot your toe. Yeah, keep your shoulders down. Yeah, turn your head, turn your neck. Breath, breath, breath. Then you open and slap. And you open and slap. And you open and slap. And you open and slap. Back and forth. Step back. Little bend in the knees. Stretch that Achilles and the back of the leg. Step forward and back. Bend that knee in the back. Look at my heel. See, step back. Keep your shoulders down. Bend that knee. Get into the heel. Just like that. Okay? All right, you guys. It's time. I'm hoping to be home on Monday. We'll see. Okay.